Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the Live with Audacity podcast. You're listening to episode number 27. I'm your host, Melissa Stuart, and before we jump into today's episode, I really want to chat a bit about the Live with Audacity course. This is an 8-week online course designed to help you figure out your true purpose and passion and get started living up to all your undeniable potential. If you struggle with feeling stuck doing all the things for all the people in your life and putting yourself and your needs on the back burner, or you feel like you're doing everything you're supposed to do and you took the proper steps to live this incredibly fulfilling life that you keep hearing about, but you're still not seeing the benefits or rewards of your sacrifices, I'd venture to say you're not living your true purpose, your calling. I want to help you do that. During this 8-week course, we're going to get to the bottom of what you really want to be doing with your life in every aspect. And you're going to have the courage to dream big dreams again and start paving the path to make those dreams come true. You'll learn exactly how you can best serve others in a way that makes you feel joyful and alive again. You'll learn that your unique qualities and characteristics you were made with are exactly what make you so qualified to serve others with your passionate purpose. So many times we come up with careers we might like or ideas for businesses that might work, but we don't ever actually take the time to think about how we would feel to wake up and do that career or business idea every day. But when you are passionate about your purpose, you get excited to live up to your greatest potential. And that's when you can make big impact in the world. So if this sounds like you at all, if you feel like you are not living your greatest purpose and waking up every day with passion in your heart for the day, then hop in the Live with Audacity course with me and let's take your life to the highest heights you can dream of. Right now, you can get in for the lowest price I will ever offer this course. It is $297, and right now, if you sign up, you can bring a friend for half price. Yep, seriously. So get a friend. Everything is more exciting when you do it with a friend. So come on, let's go. You can't get a course like this anywhere else. For more information, visit mmstuartco.com. That's mmstuartco.com. Okay, let's jump in to today's episode. Today's episode is really interesting because I get to talk to fellow coach Chaney Fle of Fostering New Hope. Chaney and I discuss the difference between therapy and coaching, how your past builds you to be the person you are today, and how coaching can help you pull out the things you're struggling with that you may not have even realized. You're listening to the Live with Audacity podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Stuart. Audacity is defined by Merriam-Webster as intrepid boldness or disregard for normal constraints. And that's exactly what we have here. The Live with Audacity podcast is aimed at giving you the courage to explore your someday dreams, do things your way, and start making things happen in your life right now. I'm a mama to 4 kiddos ranging from college student to kindergartner, wife to a high school football and track coach, and a multi-passionate entrepreneur. Together with my guests, we're going to teach you how to live with audacity and intentionality, discover and utilize your unique skills and talents, and step into who you are meant to be in order to make your someday dreams a reality. Are you ready? Here we go. Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning back into the Live with Audacity podcast. Today, I'm so excited to talk to Miss Chaney Fle. She is the mind and the soul behind Fostering New Hope, which is a intuitive business coaching and business strategy business. And I'm excited to talk to her about kind of how she got into that and where all of that came from. Chaney, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I am very happy to be here and I'm excited.
I am so excited to have you because we were talking a little bit right before I started recording, and I'm so excited for you to tell us your story because it's really interesting. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story and kind of how you came to the place for fostering New Hope?
Okay, so I am 26 years old and I've had more experience in life than people who are twice my age. And I say that lightly because everybody's life is different. When my dad passed away when I was 12 after fighting brain cancer, that was the biggest turning point in my life.
Yeah, and
My mother, yeah,
you said he had the same brain cancer that Senator McCain had, correct?
yes,
How long?
glioblastoma.
Okay, how long did he live with that?
It was right about a year.
Oh, wow.
It
Okay.
really does not have survival rates. He had
Right.
3 tumors. He had surgery, brain surgery, 3 different times. They couldn't do any more brain surgery. Chemo and radiation, it it didn't do anything to shrink it. It would just stop it growing periodically, and then it would come back even more aggressive. So there really wasn't any way to treat it.
Wow.
So
Okay.
hopefully that gets better.
Yeah, I hope that they do research and figure out how to, tackle that a little bit better. But tell us what happened after that.
So when he passed away, my mother had mental health issues all of my life, and it stems from her childhood experience growing up. And I won't really go into much of that, but she decided that she couldn't handle the pain. And when you mix pain with alcohol, it leads to more pain, whether it's for that person or for someone surrounding them. And she became a alcoholic. And she was a closet alcoholic for many years. Nobody knew. She was a very influent female when you knew her. She was in the church groups. She did the PTO at my schools. She was always there at our sporting events. She was in generally she was a great mom when she had the ability. But mental health strikes anyone for any reason, and sometimes they can't overcome it. And when my dad
Hmm.
passed, it spiraled it a little bit more out of control. So I was 12 years old in sixth grade when he passed, and she started verbally and emotionally abusing me. And it was little things that really hit me the hardest. You don't sit there and tell your child that you wish that they had aborted you. You don't tell your child that
Mm.
you can't love them because they look, excuse me, just like the other parent that passed away and you can't handle that pain. You don't tell your child that you can't love them because of it. And, she would always go even further than that. I could get straight A's in school, and because they weren't straight A pluses, it wasn't good enough. I
Hmm.
could be the top of my class, and it wasn't good enough. I could not be perfect enough for her. I never got into legal trouble. I don't even think I necessarily ever got disciplined at school. I was a very high achiever, but I did that mostly for myself. I saw it as a way out. My dad,
Hmm.
before he passed away, instilled education is the biggest thing you can do for yourself. It's an investment in you, and no one can take your knowledge away. And so I knew that school would be my way out. Little did I know that I would actually get out much sooner. So, fast forward to when I was 16, we had an argument. She had been drinking. Um, and with borderline personality disorder, they go through periods of they want you really close, they love you, they dote on you, and then they push you away because they're afraid of losing you. So if they push you away first, it's not so difficult to feel like they're losing you because
Hmm.
they, pushed you away instead. It's a
Right.
coping strategy. So at 16, she pushed me away, and I went through a pretty traumatic experience and ended up in foster care. And that's something that's even difficult to talk about sometimes because when you hear of someone going into foster care, there's really kind of two different stigmas surrounding it. And the biggest stigma that I had being a 16-year-old teenage girl is that I must have done something wrong.
Right.
Even though I hadn't done anything wrong, I know that I've been told that you still think you did something wrong.
Right.
And so when I went into foster care, I was actually advised to, when I transferred schools, not to tell anyone that I was a foster care kid. And to hear that, that broke my heart. Like, why can't I share my story? Why would
Right.
people judge me based on a label? And I still see that stereotyping and labels are horrible. But the stigma is if you're in foster care, then you're going to be at more risk for a criminal record.
Oh, wow.
And I don't say that lightly. But if you grow up in situations where you are watching somebody else do drugs, or they are addicted to something, or they're low income and they steal to make ends meet, you are going to be more likely to pick those habits up and do it yourself. Fortunately, I didn't come from that background, so I have a different path than most do. But this opened my eyes and really taught me that I am not the label that's attached to me. It also taught me that I shouldn't apologize for who I am
Mm-hmm.
because I am not that situation, but that situation can make an impact on me. And it's my choice on how to use that impact. And I
So,
think that's what, yeah.
yeah, so tell me how all of that affected you and brought you to your business that you have now.
Okay. So, going through all of this hardship in my life, there's much more, but that's the brunt of it, is that I found that I love helping people. I feel called to serve others. And so I actually put myself through college as a young teenage single mom and got my associate's degree in human services. And I chose human services instead of social work for the specific reason it focuses on the individual and their individual needs. I believe in the person centered approach
Love
and
that.
not the,
Blanket
typical.
approach.
Yes, the blanket approach doesn't do much. It's person centered. You have to meet them where they are and teach them what they need and then help support them forward. That's how you get the most progress and success. And so, me going through all of these life experiences, I have the experience to show empathy, not just sympathy, but empathize with them because I've been there, I've been through it, I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I chose to do human services and I went into a field of mental health, and that brought in the person centered approach. And I have been able to learn how to motivate others by using their past to spiral them forward too. And so that's what I do now is I took what I learned with working with individuals in a corporate world, and now I get to do it to help them meet whatever goals they want instead of what goals we're told to work towards.
I love that so much. And that's really what I focus on as well is getting people to break out of that mindset that they really need to, be looking around at what everybody else is doing, or they need to look around and see what society thinks that they should do, or what their family thinks that they should do, or what anybody
Right.
else thinks that they should be doing, and really start to tune everything else out so that they can look inside themselves and really start to hear with their own heart and their own brain what they feel really called to do, and what they feel really empowered to do, and what they feel passionate about doing. And I have found with with everyone that I speak to is that everybody says, I want to help people. I want to help people. We all want to help people. That's truly the one thing that brings us all together, is that we all want to help people. Um, but the key is that people don't realize we all have our own unique gifts and talents to serve people in the absolute best way that we can. And if the entire universe tapped into their own unique gifts and talents and serving others in the way that really lights them up and brings them joy and passion, then man, we would all be getting to serve each other and feel so much love for each other and love for ourselves, because we're getting to do the thing that we really love and that just brings us so much joy. So I love that you said that. um so tell me how you finally decided that coaching others was really the place that you wanted to take this.
So I actually had no idea. I was on Facebook going through groups and I came across, I don't know if you've seen her, but the part time CEO, Janelle Laura.
Mm-hmm.
And I had spoken to her, and she's the one who said, do you realize that what you've been doing is something that you could start your own business doing? And I had no idea that it was a field. I had no idea it was a possibility. I had no idea it existed. And that opened the door. And I sat there and really fought hard against it for the longest time, because why should I invest in myself? Why should I sit here and chase my dream because I didn't feel worthy of it? And it's something that really kind of struck a chord, because I had wanted to start a business since I was 18. And here I am sitting at 26 and I'm finally chasing that dream. And so by opening that door, I've made even more connections with women. I have come across them and helped them, and it warms my heart to know that I am making a positive difference using all the negative experiences that I've had, because it serves a purpose. I didn't just go through it to go through it now. It has a purpose, and that
Mm-hmm.
purpose is what helps me forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so interesting. I love that you said that all the stuff that you've been through serves a purpose now, because, when we're going through all of that stuff, I don't have a similar story to that, but I have, of course, my own story and, tons of things that I've been through as well. And so it's great now to be able to look back at those things and be grateful for them and understand that without those things, I wouldn't be where I am now, and understand that those things built me to be the person that I am so that I can serve my community and serve um, the people that I work with in the best way and have that life experience and help to be able to pass it on to the next person. I love that you said that.
And I think, even going through it as a teenager, I was raised as a Christian in church, and I would always sit there and I would just question God. Why am I going through this? Why do I have to experience this? Why do I have to feel this pain? And even going through it, I said, I know I don't know the reason why now, but I know that you have a plan and that it's all meant to be, and it will serve a purpose later, even though that's hard to think about now. And I think I've finally found that purpose because it's working so well.
Yeah.
And I fought it for so many years. And I regret not taking the steps forward sooner now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what is one thing you wish you would have had the courage to do sooner? Obviously, launching your business, it sounds like, but what Is there any specific thing in your business maybe that you wish you would have broken through? Maybe coaching or, well, I mean, receiving coaching or just really realizing that this is what you wanted to do. Tell me a little about that.
So I fought going through counseling as a teenager. I thought it was a joke. Teenager, you know everything, right?
Of
And I
course.
kind of regret that now because I had my son at 18, and having him at 18 opened my eyes like, oh man, I don't know everything. I need help. Like, I
Oh
have
my
to
gosh.
learn.
So funny because that's basically exactly how that happened for me.
Yes. And so here I am at 18. I just had my first child and I am struggling. And when he reached about a year and a half, I finally actually went back into counseling. And counseling helped me work through a lot of the trauma, and it helped me be a better mother. And it's
Mhm.
still stuff that I, pull on today, and I still use some of the coping strategies that I was taught, and it stuck with me. But counseling is so different from coaching. And thinking back, yes, the counseling helped, but I wish that I had known about coaching, because I think that would have been a better investment in myself, is to actually be coached on how to be who I was trying to be all along and not
And
fixing just the past.
yes, so tell me a little bit about that and what you feel like the differences are between coaching and therapy and why you feel more why you feel like coaching was probably a better path for you, because I literally just said this like yesterday to my coach. So I'm so interested to hear what you have to say about it.
Okay, so with counseling for me, I have worked in mental health. I have gone through counseling several times in my life. Counseling is more of a way to identify feelings and find the underlying causes of why you're feeling that way. It's a safe environment to explore what the causes are and being able to voice how you feel about it and work through that pain to move forward. Coaching, on the other hand, I feel is more goal specific. You are working on what you want to work on. You are moving forward. You're not addressing the past like counseling does. Counseling focuses more on the past. Coaching is more of how to move forward, in my eyes. And in coaching, I have to do all the work just like counseling, but it's not peeling back the layers, it's opening doors. And I think that's the biggest difference, is I worked on the past in counseling, and now I'm working on moving forward with coaching. So they go hand in hand, but they're definitely not the same.
So I feel
Eh,
actually a little bit differently about it. I feel like,
really?
yeah, I feel like, at least in my experience with the coach that I have, I feel like of course, am working on goals and moving forward and things like that. But I feel like the in that process, when those limiting beliefs and mindset blocks come up, that's when I have to take it back and deal with something from the past that is, it's a story that I'm telling myself, that's not serving me anymore, and it's holding me back. So I've got to go deal with that story and figure out either how to heal from it or rewrite it. And then I can move forward, and it kind of pushes me to the next level. So I actually do feel like, for me at least, coaching has been peeling back the layers, because there's often times for me
Yes.
that I feel like I've gotten over something or I've moved past something, and then I hit the next level, and it's like, well, shoot, now that thing is coming back again. Why is it still there? How do I really dig into this and rewrite this story and overcome it? So that's my
Yes,
personal experience.
you are right, but there's still a difference. In counseling, you're not required to take action. You work
For
through it,
sure.
and you move forward. Coaching is where you have to take the action to overcome it. And that's what I
Yeah.
think separates the two. That's why they go hand in hand together. But you're constantly moving forward faster with coaching because you are relying on doing the work to see the results forward.
Yes. I love, love, love that you said that. I 100% agree. And I feel like, too, coaching is so much, I'm not going to say easier. I just feel like it's just so much more encompassing because, like you said, you have to take those actions so that you can find that next thing that you're still like, that's still hovering, right? That's
Yes.
still coming back up and again and again and again. And in therapy, at least in my experience with that, I only did it a few times. But I felt like it was just like, okay, tell me about your victimhood. Tell me about the things that have gone on and let's deal with that. And I feel like this is just a different way of doing that. And
It is. You're
yeah,
exactly right. It's a different way. It's more encompassing. There's more depth. There's more action taking. There's more clarity. And that's why, for me personally, I get more from coaching than I did counseling. But the
for
counseling
sure.
I had to go through really helped me find the coping skills I needed to be able to be ready for coaching. So if
I love that.
someone really is struggling with, I mean, anxiety, depression, childhood trauma, anything psychological along those lines, it needs to be dealt with in counseling before they're ready to move into coaching because they're not going to be able to take the action required just yet. They can, but they're not going to see the best results from it,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, totally. So tell me about a time since you've been in coaching that you felt like you failed and what you learned from it. Obviously, as coaches, we understand that there's no true failure. We just they're lessons. But tell me about a time that you feel like you tell me about a lesson that you've learned or something that you feel like at first was a failure, but ended up working out and it ended up being a lesson for you.
So you're right, failure is just lessons. And I think that the biggest lesson I have had to learn so far is no one has the chance of having every single person they come across like them. There's no way. And we get so focused up on trying to shape ourselves into who we think that client needs instead of being ourselves and attracting the right clients. And I
That's
can
good.
say this because when I first started out, I didn't understand what an ideal client was. I didn't understand market research. I didn't understand how to connect with the right clients moving forward. And so that was the biggest struggle to begin with and the biggest lesson I had to learn. If I focused more on being myself, on my uniqueness, on how I can help others my way, to get them exactly where they needed to be, I would get the right clients with a little less work put into it
Right.
instead of having to chase them and try and, develop a sense of value because the clients that I speak with who want to work with me see that I can bring them value. Whether it's they want to move forward in their business, but they're struggling with their personal life interfering with that, how to create the boundaries that they need, how to separate it so that they don't go insane doing it.
Yeah.
Um, Finding the right blocks for them because sometimes they're like, I'm doing all the things right. I feel like I've really found my purpose. I'm moving forward, but something's still off. Having a conversation with them, I can usually pick up a barrier that they don't see themselves.
Right.
And by bringing up that barrier, we can work through it and then they catapult forward. That's
For
been the
sure.
amazing part to watch.
Yeah, it's so fun, right? When you can really hone in and hear something that someone else is saying, and you're like, hey, so here's the thing. and they're like, "Oh crap, I did not see that coming at all." I think that's so fun. And then when they can really deal with that and it catapults them, I think that's so fantastic. What are you working on now, or where is your business headed?
I always have big plans, and I always have to have a notebook to write them down. So I currently do offer one-on-one packages for people who do not want to participate in group settings. I also have a group program that's 3 months long that I want to probably launch later in the spring so that they can do it more on a slow pace with the summer months, is what I'm hoping for. So they still have time to travel. Their kids are at home, so they're going to be balancing kids and building their business. And then I am currently working on a small group program that's 6 weeks long instead of 3 months to try and fast track them to where they want to be. And that can be someone who just now is seeing that it's an opportunity that they want to pursue, someone who has the ideas and logistics worked out but needs that extra support, or someone who's kind of in that middle tier, is what I think of, where they have everything that they want done, but they haven't necessarily figured out how to have a successful launch yet, to help them propel themselves forward and really connect with how to get repeating clients coming back.
Cool. Okay. So tell me, what has been your biggest risk in your business that turned into a big win?
Probably hiring my own coach. Yes, you can coach yourself, but that is so much more difficult. You're going to be going in loops. You're not going to have a clear path forward. You're going to miss things. You don't have anyone to help encourage you when you're down. And it's easier to quit without the accountability. And that's probably been the biggest risk. And I will give her a shout out. Stephanie Snyder. She is amazing. I think her group is the Overjoyed Moms.
Cool.
And she has been a godsend, honestly.
That's fantastic. I love that. I think I've talked to other coaches about it, and I totally agree that having your own coach that can help you get out of your own way, I love that so much. So let's do a quick rapid fire now. Tell me about a book, article, person, or talk that changed your life.
Oh man, that's difficult. There's so many people I could choose, so many books I've read over the years. I am going to say right this second, my oldest son. He is autistic and ADHD. He has sensory processing disorder, and he has taught me more on patience than I ever thought possible.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, patience. Especially when you have kids. That's a big one, especially.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
so yeah, it's so funny. I have never really been that patient of a person, but yeah, the more time I spend as a mom and dealing with all these kids, yeah, you got to have that patience and you really start to learn it with them, but then you also learn how to be patient with yourself. So I think that's so great. I'm so glad you said that. Tell me about your favorite Friday night at home.
So every once in a while, we will throw in pizzas and we will turn on a movie, and then kids go to bed. And we will eat like a slice of two pizza with the kids, but we do like a double dip, meaning the kids get their time. They get their favorite food, they get a movie, they get to relax and unwind after the week of school. And then when bedtime rolls around, my husband and I will do like a date night at home because we have 5 kids, and my
Mm-hmm.
youngest is 6 months old. He's exclusively breastfed. My
Oh, wow.
oldest has his own issues, and so it's really hard to find somebody to watch the kids for us to go out.
Uh huh.
So we will do a date night at home instead on Friday nights.
I love it.
So
I love that.
it helps keep sanity.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What was your dream job as a kid?
I had two and I couldn't pick. It was a teacher and being a lawyer.
Ah, well, you're kind of a teacher now. So there you go. That worked out.
Yes, it did.
Tell me about the next vacation that you're planning with your family.
I think the next one that we are going to focus on is trying to go to the Wisconsin Dells. I went as a small
Okay.
child with my dad, and I want to take my kids at least once. So I think we're going to try and focus on that next.
That's so cool. And what will you guys do there?
We'll probably stay where there's a water park and spend most of the time there with the kids.
Yeah, awesome. How fun. Okay, tell our listeners what is your best advice for living with audacity?
Oh man, this one's difficult. There's so many. The biggest one, though, is remember that your opinion of you is the only one that you should listen to because you will never appease everyone you meet.
Absolutely. And most of the time, you're not even going to appease the people all the time, right? So even if you find
Right.
someone that resonates with you or that loves everything about you, even still, there's going to be times when that person, isn't always happy with you. So, yes, I love that advice. That's fantastic. Where can people find you to get more information?
So, the easiest way and the one that I keep up with the most, I will admit I'm horrible at social media, is my Facebook group. It's facebook.com/groups/fostering new hope LLC.
Perfect. Okay, and I will put all of your links in the show notes, just in case people didn't catch that. Um, Thank you so much, Chaney, for coming on. I had a lot of fun learning about you and your story, and I love how you are using your past to create better futures for not only yourself and your family, but for your clients. I love that. And I think you're on the right track and you are going to do great things.
I'm hoping to do great things. That is my goal.
I totally understand. Well,
It's
thank you so
great
much
to
again.
me. So, thank you.
Hey, y'all, I had to jump in here real quick because I need a favor. If you are loving the Live with Audacity podcast, I need you to do me a big solid favor and share it with your friends, share it on social media, and go to the Apple iTunes link and click subscribe, rate it, review it. I need to know your feedback, and I want to keep putting this out for you, so I really need your help to get the message out. Thank you so, so much for your loyalty and your super kind and sweet words. They mean so terribly much to me.